All right, so we are inside the new Anthropic Claude 2. This is probably the most advanced competitor to ChatGPT that I have seen so far, and it's much cleaner looking. So I was just running a quick prompt to get some headlines. Let me see if I can come up with something interesting. Let me go grab a prompt over here, and this is going to be one about, let's see, calls to action. So I'm going to just drop that in here. Act as a seasoned digital marketing strategist, skilled at creative, powerful CTAs that trigger immediate responses. Design a compelling CTA for, and I guess this was something I had left over from something I was doing with a client, online fitness course that prompts our health enthusiasts to sign up for a free trial because of a limited time offer. Now, that's a little vague, but it'll at least give you an example of what it looks like. So it's now giving us the breakdown of what that call to action might look like. And it's actually reasonably creative. Claude is not known for the creative stuff nearly as much as GPT-4, but it looks like there's some pretty darn good content here. Now, I could have given it more specific information, and it would then know what to say here. It just made up some stuff because it didn't know exactly what the details were of the offer. So I could go back. What I can't do here, which I can do in ChatGPT, is I can go back and actually adjust the command and then rerun it. Right now, it doesn't look like Claude gives me that capability. I can give it a thumbs down. I wonder what happens if I do that. It will then give me some choices for some feedback. It's in beta right now. I can hit retry and it's going to generate something else. And then I can hit copy. That was the other option down there. And so I wanted to take a look at this initially. And like I said, I would likely change the instructions to give it more detail. So it's just assuming 30-day. It's calling it a body transformation journey, although in the last version it gave it a different name because I didn't tell it exactly what that was. So you have to remember that when you put these things in, the more detail you put up here, the better the output is. Otherwise, you're going to take the output and then you'll have to swap out the correct information for the incorrect information that shows up here. But I want to go back here because one of the other really cool things is that you have the ability to upload files. And so I'm hovering over this. It says I can add a total of 5 files up to 10 megabytes each. And then it has a list of various different types of files. And I did see a much more exhaustive list, but here it's just giving some examples. You can do a PDF, TXT, CSV. So let's say you wanted to go through and analyze a CSV file with a lot of different data points in it and then give you a report back on breaking down the data. That's a possibility. In this case, I'm going to grab a book that we recently published, and I'm going to ask it to break it down. So summarize the content of this book in, let's do that, summarize, in the following format. 2 columns with, let's see, chapter name and overall summary in 1 column and key takeaways in the other column. Go chapter by chapter in the table markdown output. It'll know what I mean, even though I really didn't phrase that correctly. It will likely understand. So it's now reading through the PDF that I've uploaded, and I did this with an earlier test, and it sort of sat there for a little while, and I was wondering, gosh, is it doing anything? But in fact, I mean, I've given it a book that I can't remember. It's something like 80 pages long, and it's reading through all of that. And in a moment, it's going to start giving us the output that we're after. Okay. So the one thing it's not doing is it's not giving me the 2 columns table format that I asked for. And I guess I was assuming that it was going to understand what I meant by that, but it's not giving me the output in the way that I wanted. It's also not going all the way down the entire book. It stopped at number 3 or chapter 3. I wonder if I say continue, if it will continue on to chapter 4, or whether I actually need to go back and change the way that I've prompted it. So that's this is just released. It's in beta. As I said, there's some kind of new technology here that they're testing with a large number of users for the first time, and it may not be giving me exactly what it will eventually give me. But it did figure out that it had left off at chapter 3, and now it's continuing with chapter 4, chapter 5, and this is actually quite useful because this is a summary of my book. Now I can, maybe take this and build some social media content out of it, saying, here's a quick excerpt from, or here's a quick summary of this particular chapter. Want to get the whole book? Here's where to go to get it. So you can see how this could be quite useful. But I'm a little disappointed that it didn't do the table. Try again, but this time in table format. All right, let's see what happens. I have not done this back and forth the way that I'm used to doing it in ChatGPT. Is something along those lines, is like to tell it that it did it wrong, and then hopefully it's going to correct itself. In this case, I don't know what's going to happen, because this is the first time that I'm attempting to have this sort of conversation. It's fairly standard practice, as I said, in ChatGPT to have it do something. Yeah, it's not doing it again. So either there's some bug in the way that it got the initial information and it's just fixated on not generating the information that way, or I simply need to change up the way that I'm asking it. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to just do this one more time. Let's go grab that book again. Okay, and I'm going to just write summarize in 2-column table markdown format. I'm not going to give it any other information, and let's see if, based on just that, it's going to now make some decisions about what to do. But hopefully, you can see it's already said table summary markdown format is what it's titled it. So hopefully it understands what I'm asking well enough to give me the output presented the way that I want it. Now, again, I didn't ask it a thorough question, or the prompt was not as thorough as I'd like it to be. Yeah, again, I actually saw it in a previous round before hitting record here, building out real tables, and this time it's not. So something is a little funky with its output, and I'm gonna try it one last time while I'm recording, just to do yet one more, and we'll see what happens. Okay, summarize this book chapter by chapter. Present results in a 2-column table markdown. All right, let's see what we get there. Interesting. Okay, that was a little weird. It showed me the results from the last one, but then it jumped back to the current one. So, all right, we're going to see one more time if we're getting the results that we're after. And again, there's a lot of people just testing this for the first, I think this is like the first full 24 hours that this is out and available to the public. And so it's highly likely that there's some bugginess that they need to work through. Okay, we're finally getting the table presentation that I was hoping for. And so I guess it's a little finicky with the way that I prompted. I needed to to probably ask the question slightly differently. But again, there's also something I think a little screwy with the way that it's responding initially. But there you go. That's a quick look at Claude from Anthropic. You can get access to it at Claude.ai, I believe, and sign up. Now, just so you know, when you do sign up, let's go ahead and log me out. You'll see what it looks like. You get to a page like this where you have to either register with an email address or you can just log in via Google. And as it says, it is in open beta and usage of the platform may be limited for unpaid users. At the moment, I'm not aware of who is paying. I don't have the ability to pay for it as best I can tell. I think it's just for enterprise API folks. So you can get in and play around for free. And if for some reason you're not able to, one of the other things you should look into is utilizing Claude via Slack. And that's probably content for a different episode, but that's another way that you can access it. And let's actually take a quick look at how that works. So if you go to anthropic.com, you can actually learn a little bit about the various options. And if you click in here, you can see how Claude works. This is new. The Talk to Claude is what we were just looking at. And then there are also ways to access Claude via Slack. If we click see pricing, this actually brings us to the API stuff. And right now it's not giving us information on how you access the paid version. It is simply showing us what the pricing is. So that's what you do. You request access and then you have to go through an application process. It's early days for all of these products, of course, and so the best way to judge them is based on the fact that there's a lot ahead of us in terms of further development. But this is pretty darn cool from what we just went through there to be able to play inside of Claude and I love the fact that I can upload the files and eventually get the output that I'm looking for in the format that I was after. Just took us a few tries. Anyway, this is David Baer from AI Coterie and Baer on Marketing. Thanks for watching, and look forward to seeing you in another video real soon.